Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday again. Time for another happy hour hangout with me, Jess, and CCG. I see we got a couple folks on here. Hello to Gus or Not, and hello to the Charity Board Gamer. Yes, the 8-bit music is pretty nice. It's by an artist named Glasses. He's a local Oregonian, and he did some cover tunes of some video game covers, video game songs, I should say. So you might recognize some of that stuff. But yeah, I thought I would hop on for a while I cook some dinner, sending some love. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. What are you cooking, by the way? What's on tap for dinner? I've been watching some Twitch streams and doing some house chores myself. So just kind of curious to see what you all are cooking. Can you hear me all right? It sounds like everything should be going through. Just checking on my audio settings. If anyone wants to give me kind of a thumbs up, if everything's coming through okay. Cool, got the thumbs up. Everything's sounding great. Awesome. Well, it is midweek here and things are getting busy for me. For some of you that don't know, I work in the games industry and I've been fortunate to work with Haba Games. And there is a convention coming up here in a few weeks called Spiel. Some of you may know, happens in Essen, Germany every year. But unfortunately, due to the pandemic, they're not going to have a physical convention this time around. They are going to actually do it online. So we are going through to doing some online stuff, and yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I have a lot of planning, a lot of prep work to do beforehand. So yeah, being able to like listen to my friends on Twitch and see what they're doing while I'm also working, not only doing house chores, but also doing board gaming work too. So let's see what is doing. Make some mixed green salad for the missus. Got an garlic herb crusted steak going in the saute pan. Wow. That's a very complex meal. That sounds really tasty. Yes, and the Charity Board Gamer will be helping us for doing some demos online. We're going to be doing a lot of streaming as well. So tune in on the Instagrams for all of that fun stuff, and Twitter as we're getting everything kind of situated. Haba has a new Twitch stream, so Haba_games is going to be the new Twitch channel for Spiel. So yeah, and you'll probably see me playing some Haba games. As you can see over here, we've got Adventureland, which is a really fun game. Unfortunate that it doesn't get as much love as I think it should. It's a Kramer and Kiesling collaborative. And it's basically you are adventurers, kind of like a medieval setting, and there's different scenarios that you have to do in each gameplay. Some of them are collecting gold and herbs for potions and things like that. Some of them are trying to save people from monsters and different creatures in the land. But it's a really fun kind of game where you actually need to move in a certain direction. So the board is laid out where you have the lands and all the different spaces, but it's laid out in a grid wise. So on each turn you flip over a card, and that's where something will happen along the grid. But your movement only is from the upper left-hand corner down to the bottom right-hand corner. So you can only move in those directions. You can't move any person back. So there's strategy involved when you're trying to complete your objectives, but you can only move in certain directions. I really enjoy that game. It's fun to play in person, but now we're going to be playing little games here and there. I might do some more interactive with the chat as we go along, but today we are going to be playing Castles of Burgundy, the dice game. This is one of my favorites in terms of the dice game mechanic is concerned. And if you would like to play along with your own copy, I do not unfortunately have any online copies you can play with, but this game has been out for a while. So if you are a fan of roll and writes, you might have this in your collection. So I'm going to be playing from there today. I have some laminated sheets here. I'm not sure what side I'm going to be playing with, but we shall see. I was thinking of starting with Duchy A, maybe Duchy C. I don't know, for Chicks Can Game. I don't know. Another question, what are you all consuming as beverages for a happy hour? Chris, do you have any beverage of choice? I believe you like root beer. I am currently enjoying some sparkling water right now. Yeah, this is the happy hour time. For those that might not know, happy hour here in the States is usually a time when you get off work and you can join with your friends or coworkers and coworkers. I shouldn't say or, because sometimes they are your friends. Enjoy some beverages and some snacks and kind of just shoot the breeze and chat. And it's a very, very relaxing time. Root beer seltzer water. Interesting. Is it seltzer water, like root beer flavored seltzer water? That's really interesting. This weekend, my husband and I went out to the coast, and there's a brewery out there that has really good draft root beer. And when I say really good draft root beer, like I was a kid that was raised on A&W, right? And, you know, a lot of folks are familiar with A&W root beer, or Barks, if you remember Barks root beer. And I would swear I would always, when I get my root beer floats, A&W, that was the root beer of choice. I had to go with the, you know, the classic. But when we went to this brewery a few years ago, I tried the draft root beer, and oh my goodness, it changed my life. So I will, you know, it's really hard to pass up that draft root beer. And it came in a glass bottle, like a big glass bottle. And so it was just so tasty. There's something about drinking soda from a glass bottle that just makes the experience so much more worth it. But yeah, okay, so it is root beer flavored seltzer water. Interesting. I'll have to do some investigating. This one, the sparkling water that I'm drinking is orange flavored. But yeah, I like just the fun different flavors that you can get. But that root beer was awesome. I did give my husband a taste, but I consumed most of it for myself because I was a little selfish, I have to say, when it comes to root beer. I am also a sucker for Crush orange soda in a bottle. That's just super tasty too. I don't know if I would drink it from a fountain, like a soda fountain. But if that's the only choice, then maybe. But yeah, fun times. Happy hour stuff. Okay, we've got a couple more folks on here just to pop in and say hello, or if you're lurking, that's okay too. Welcome. Hope you all are having a good Wednesday or Thursday, whatever time zone y'all are in. I'm currently on the West Coast of the States. So this is like my afternoon getting into the evening time. I know some folks might be on the East Coast, some folks might be overseas. So if you are, just pop in and say hello if you want. We are going to be starting the Castles of Burgundy, the dice game. So if anyone wants to play along, they are welcome to. But you know, I think I'm going to go with Duchy C. I'm going to go with Duchy C. C for Chicks Can Game, C for Castles of Burgundy, C for come on everyone, let's do this. So I am going to switch to our table view, and we can get started here on explaining the rules and doing some other stuff. So let's see here. I wish I had a good transition. music, but that's what your voice is for. Yes, C is for cookie, and that's good enough for me. Alrighty then, here we go. I'm gonna have my Dutchie down here. See if we can get this a little bit closer. How is that view for everybody? Maybe I can move this down just a touch. Bear with me, I'm going to be moving the camera down, folks. Close your eyes if you need to. There we go. There we go. Movie magic here. Movie magic. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see. I think we can work with that. Maybe I'll turn down this just a tad. So everybody can kind of see it there. Cool. All right. In Castles of Burgundy, let's see. And before I start explaining all these rules, can you all see everything okay? If I can get some feedback on that, making sure everybody can see this okay. See myself okay here. All right. In Castles of Burgundy, what we are doing is we are trying to build out our kingdom. We will be starting on one of these castles here with the green hex and working our way outwards adjacent from that green hex and going along throughout our kingdom. Each round, we are going to be rolling the dice, and it is going to be determined based upon 3 different things. Might be just a touch dark. Let's see if I can turn this up. Oops, other way. Let's see. That look all right there? It's better. Maybe slide this over. So y'all can kind of see that a little bit better. Okay. There we go. Cool. All right. So what we're going to be doing is there's 3 factors that determine each roll throughout the game. 1, we have our time die, which we will mark here in these columns to count down for each round. We are going through 3 total rounds, and then we will score our points for the 3 rounds down here in the bottom in these columns, and then I'll add all the total together, and that will be our final score here. So we've got our time die. The time marker has 1 and 2s on it. 2s are in blue. The 1s are for 1 time, and the 2s are marked for 2 time. And the reason that they are blue is that they correspond to the blue resource down here at the bottom. I will explain what each of these resources does in just a second, but just remember for the time die, you will mark either 1 or 2, depending on what that die is rolled. Next are the color dice. There are 2 of them, and each color is represented once on the die. So we have purple, gray, blue, orange, green, and yellow. This one down at the bottom kind of looks a little bit like a lime color, lime green, but it's actually yellow for the purposes of the die face. And then next we have 2 dice that have pips on them. So on a turn, we're going to roll all 5. And this is an example. And we will mark the following things. First, we will mark the time. So we will go over to the column here and mark 2 little check marks because it is 2 time. And then take the corresponding action based upon the pairs that we make with one of the number die and one of the color die. So, for example, in this example, we will mark 2 time on our column here, then take a pair, either a 4 with yellow or a 4 with the gray, or a 2 with yellow or a 2 with the gray. However, the numbers and colors have restrictions to them based upon what pairs you can take. So here on our columns for the resources, you can see that there are different numbers needing to be for those colors. I know it's kind of a glare. Let me see if I can slide it out of the way. Nope, that's not going to happen. Can I tilt this maybe? Tilt it a little bit. All right, unfortunately, this one has a glare. You know, I might just change to the paper. Yes, let's do that. Let's change for the paper for the sake of the glare. We are on Dutchie C. So I'm going to grab myself a Dutchie C and we can explain from there. Okay, here we go. That look better for everybody? Oh, trying to get this right so it looks straight here. Okay. All right, nice. There we go. All right, so like I said, for the colors, there are certain die restrictions that you must adhere to in order to take one of those pairs. So for example, for the purple die, they only require 1s and 2s. And thank you, Selma, for gracing us with your presents. But there's a chair right there for you. Good girl. Okay, so 1s and 2s are for the purple. So they are only can be used for the purple combination, 1s and 2s. The gray one is 3s and 4s. So for 3s and 4s correspond to the gray pairing. For blue, it is 5s and 6s. For the orange, it is numbers of different types. So when you connect with your hexes here, they must be of different types. The green for the other castles must be a number that is already written around a castle that is adjacent to it. So for example, if there was a 4 here in the yellow and there was a green that came up, if there was a pairing of green and 4, then I can claim this castle because this yellow is adjacent to the green. And then on the flip side with the orange, they want all of the same number. So for, sorry, not the orange, for the yellow or the lime green, they want all of the same number. So in those sections of hexes, they want the same number written in them. All right, so in this example here, the only pairings that I could take would be either a gray 4 or a yellow 2 or a yellow 4. I could not take a gray 2 because gray sections only allow for 3s and 4s. However, I must fill in a hex that is adjacent to a hex that is already written on my board. So for the green, if I had this castle up here as my starting point, I must write numbers around in one of these 4 hexes next, and then I can work my way out from there. So in this example, the only spot I could write would be here on this gray hex. I would write a 4. Okay, so, and then with the blue time, remember how I was saying it corresponds to the blue resource? Well, in the blue resource, whenever the blue time, the 2 time comes up, what you will do is you will mark 2 time on your column. Then you will go and see how many blue resources you have accumulated on your player sheet. And from there, you will cross off those blue hexes, or excuse me, those blue resources, and give yourself 2 points for each blue resource you've collected. Write them down here on the bottom, and then give yourself a corresponding gray resource instead. So kind of think of it in terms of what you're delivering, right? So the blue ones are called the river hexes in the mines. So you're delivering packages into the mines, or you're carrying, you're mining for silver or coal or something like that, and you need to travel it onto the river. So that's what the blue and gray resources are in tandem with one another. So each of these also not only has restrictions when it comes to the numbers, but there are restrictions based upon not restrictions, but abilities that come with those resources. So on here, the purple, they would like 1s and 2s in the hexes, and these are monasteries. And the monastery, once you complete a section, will give you a monk. All right, Chris, have a good evening. Enjoy your dinner, your steak and greens. Thanks for stopping by. Excuse me. So for this example, when you take a 1 or 2 and you complete these 2 hexes, you will take a monk resource. And the monk resource allows you to change one of the colored die to any color that you want. So if I wanted it to not be yellow, if I wanted it to be green instead, I can use that for myself and mark off the monk resource and use it as a green for that turn. The gray section allows you to take a second pairing of dice. So in our example, if I took the gray 4 here and I wrote the gray 4 here, I can also take a yellow 2 or a yellow 4 and mark it in one of these hexes, because now this yellow hex is adjacent to the gray, and that is a gray resource that you can use. Below that, again, I already explained what the blue ones do. Orange is similar to the purple, but it allows you to change a pip dice to whatever number you would like, 1 through 6. So if these were here, and let's say it was a 1 and a 2, and you can't do anything with those numbers, you can use one of the worker resources and change a pip die for yourself for that turn. Workers are also available to you if you cannot take any pairing and you don't have any resources to manipulate the dice. You can take a worker as a kind of replacement, as a consolation prize, if you will, and then you would take that resource instead. What I like to do when I gain resources is I like to circle the symbol, and then once I use them, I cross it out. That's just an easy way for me to remember which ones I've accumulated and which ones I haven't. Take a little sip here. Then on the bottom, this green one allows you, it depends on which castle you take. You will see on the 4 castles, there are the 4 symbols for the above resources. So whatever castle you claim, you will claim that existing resource and mark it onto your player sheet. What I sometimes do is I flip-flop where I actually add those resources to. So if I were to claim this castle that has the blue resource, sometimes I might accidentally circle the blue resource instead of the one down here. But as long as you remember that you've collected that resource, you should be good to go. And finally, for the yellow, for the farms, when you complete a section of those hexes, you will count how many hexes are in that section, go to the corresponding round that you are in. So if it was going to be in round 1 and I completed this section of 2 hexes, I would go to the round 1 scoring column. And for 2 hexes, that would give me 4 points. But for the yellow resource, you will multiply that number by 2. So in this example, I would get 8 points instead of 4. All right. And down here on the bottom of your score sheet kind of gives you a little reference on what those dice do as well. So again, the purple allows you to manipulate a color die. The gray allows you to take a second combination of pip and color dice. The blue allows you to get 2 victory points per blue resource and then exchange that for a gray resource. And then finally, the orange one allows you to manipulate the pip dice to whatever you would like it to be. Questions that some people might have: you can only use 1 resource per dice roll. You can't combo up resources in order to gain more abilities and things like that. So if you were to use the gray resource to take a second combination, it must be the face values of what are already on the dice. So unfortunately, you can't switch colors or numbers and then use a gray resource to take a second action. So we will start by choosing one of the 4 green hexes here as our starting point castle. And then we will roll the dice and count them up. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to pop it in the chat. I will try to explain as I go along. Oh, one thing I did not mention, on the little sides here, you will see the resources. All 6 resources here on the side have little numbers here below them. The first player to complete all of one color of hexes, so if I were to complete all these purple hexes and be the first player to do so, I would get 4 bonus points. The second player would get 2. If multiple players completed the same objective at the same time, they would get both the same score. And then second place would get second place and then go from there. So I believe, yes, so let me just double check that, but I believe the ties are friendly if the objectives are completed. If you were the first or second player to, you will get, first player to mark all 7 will get 4, second player will get 2. Yes, let's see. I want to say if you are, I believe if you got all of them. Yes, if multiple players manage to complete all one color on the same turn, they will get the full amount of extra points. Yes. Second place, if the second place has been claimed, then the players will check that off as well. Okay, so yes, so first place will get the same, second place will also get the same there too. All righty, let's see here. Okay, so if no one has any questions, we will go ahead and roll these up. All right, we are starting. Oh, I did not pick my starting castle. Let me do that first. I think I'm going to start here just to give myself kind of an even starting point. All right, and our first, we have 1 time here. So I will check off 1 time here on our top row. We've got blue 1 and a blue 5. And remember, blue can only be with 5s or 6s. So now I'm going to look at my duchy and where my castle is and see what hexes are adjacent that I could fill in. So right now, the only spot that I could would be this blue section here. And thankfully, there is a 5, so I will write a 5 in this blue section here. Okay, and that would be my turn. So let's go on to the next one. We have got 1 time, a 1, a 2, a gray, and a purple. So I will mark 1 time here. We've got 1 and 2 gray and purple. So again, I will look at where my current duchy is, what hexes I have completed, and see, okay, I do have grays available to me, but these are not 1s and 2s. These need to be 3s and 4s in order to mark the gray. So I would see if maybe I could use my worker if I wanted to and fill in one of these sections, or I can look at what's also available, which is the purple 1 and 2, and I can write a purple 1 or 2. So I think I'm going to save my orange worker there and take a purple and do a purple 1 here because it's adjacent to a hex that I already have filled in. And that is my turn. All right. Another 1 time here. We've got a blue and a yellow, a 1 and a 4. So for blue, I have to do 5 or 6. So if I wanted to complete that, I can do a 5 or 6 using my worker. I can change that. Or I can start on a yellow section because I am also adjacent to a yellow section. And then I would choose either a 4 or a 1 to fill in. And then on a future turn, if a yellow comes up, I would need to make sure that was the same number next to it. But you know, I am going to use my worker because I want to complete this section. So I will cross that off, use the blue and change this pip die to a 5. And now I have completed a 2 hex section, which gives me 4 points, just straight 4 because it's not yellow. I won't double my victory points. So I'll give myself 4 there. And because it is a blue section, I will circle 1 of these blue hexes. So there you go. So that is the completing of that turn. Let's roll them up again. All right. Oh, and look, good timing here. We've got 2 blue time. So I will mark 2 blue time. Then before I take any combination, I will resolve this resource, the blue resource section. All right. Yeah, come on, blue time. Cool. Okay. So I have 1 blue resource available. So what I would do is I would give myself 2 victory points for that, cross off the blue, and then give myself a gray resource instead. Now I want to say that you can use the bonus, but let me verify that. If I think you can, if I wanted to, use that one. If anybody wants to double check on those, tell me for sure or not. +1 silver. Yeah, so see the example. Players can only use up to 1 bonus during a complete round. Never more. Okay, I want to say you can, but we'll just move on from there. Okay, so now that I've done the 2, I will take one of these combinations here. So again, with the orange section, they must be numbers of different kinds. For the yellow, they must be the same number. So I am going to start over here with the orange section, and I'm going to take a 4 in there and mark a 4. All right. We've got one time here, an orange and a blue, 6 and a 3. So I'm going to mark one time here, orange and blue, 6 and 3. Well, that is pretty nice. I do have a choice though. So for blue, they want 5 or 6s, and there is a blue 6 I can take because I just filled in this orange 4. I could take the adjacent blue and write a 6 if I wanted to. Or I could take a 6 or a 3 and fill it in here in my orange space to try to get myself closer to completing orange. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to take this orange 6 and put it there. And I marked one time, and that is that there. Let me see who we've got on this thing. Awesome. Everybody doing all right? Sounds good. Don't have any questions there. So seems pretty good to me. All right, let's roll them up. Oh, 2 time again. Okay, so we are going to mark 2 time, and we will pause and see if anyone has any blue resources. I do not, so I cannot take the bonus of the 2 points plus the gray. So I just do my regular action, which is taking one of the combinations over here. Everyone still marks 2 time off the column and then resolves the blue resource action if they had any. But for me, I do not. So I've got a 5 or a 1 with green or a 1 with the purple. I cannot take the purple with the 5 because purples only want 1s. And look, I have one more spot here down in the purple section. So I will fill that in with a 1. And again, this is a completed hex of 2, so that will give me 4 points. And I will gain a purple resource. So the purple resources allow you to manipulate and change the color of one of the color dice. All right, 2 more to go here on round 1. And we've got 1 time, 3, 1 orange and blue. Okay, so I'm going to mark 1 time first. We've got 3 and 1 orange and blue. Well, the orange I can complete because I can do a 1 or a 3 there because all the numbers need to be different. Blue, I cannot take either of those because they need to be 5s or 6s. So my only option is the orange. So I'm going to do an orange 3 here. And that completes this section of orange. It is 3 hexes, so that will give me 8 points. And I gain an orange resource, which is the worker, which allows me to manipulate one of the pip dice there. Okay, this is going to be the end of round 1 here. I'm going to roll them up. All right, we got, oops, getting a little crazy with my sheet. Crazy, crazy. All right. Again, it is a 2 time, but since there's only 1 more time left in the round, I'm just going to mark off the single time. And if anyone has the blue resource to resolve, again, count up how many blue resources you have available to you, multiply that by 2. That's how many victory points you would receive. And then however many blue resources you have, you will get the equivalent number of gray resources instead. So cross off those blue ones, give yourself the gray ones, and go from there. Unfortunately, I do not have those. So I have purple and blue, green, purple and blue, 3 and a 1. Well, the blue again needs 5s or 6s, and I do have an orange, which will allow me to change the number on the die. So I think I might do that. Or do I want to complete a purple section here and give myself 1 point? and give myself another monk resource. I may want to do that. Yes, okay, so I'm going to take purple 1 here and mark it on this adjacent hex. It is only a 1 hex section, so it gives me 1 victory point, and then I gain another monk resource. And this is the end of round 1. So what you will do is you will count up your scores, write it down here on the bottom, and then we will move on to round 2. So let's see, I've got 1, 5, 7, 11, 12, 20 for that round, which isn't too bad. Yeah, I wouldn't say that's too bad, huh? Okie doke, moving on to round 2. Unless anyone has any questions, I'm gonna pause and take a quick drink of my sparkly water. Quick drink of the sparkly water. Oh boy. Okay, so again, we've got our 2 time. So I will mark 2 time here because we're beginning in the next round. We've got orange and yellow, 5 and 6. Okay. Now I have some choices because I have adjacent yellow here. I have adjacent yellow here. I have adjacent yellow here. I also have adjacent orange up here. I may go with the orange. So I'm going to take the orange and put a 6 here. Yep, and that's 2 time. And that will be the end of that roll. Here we go. Next one. Oh, goodness gracious. I just keep rolling the same stuff. 2 time. If anyone has a blue resource to resolve, make sure you resolve that first before writing in your pairing of dice. Okay, here we go. I've got yellow, green, 3 and 2. Well, look at here. This green castle has not been claimed yet, and there's a 3 adjacent to it, which is nice. I could also do someone yellow here and complete that to give myself 1 point. But you know, I think I'm going to claim this castle. So I'm going to circle this castle, use the green 3, circle that because it's the purple castle monk over here. It is a 1 hex section. So for round 2, 1 hex gives me 1 point. There we go. All right. Now, oh, I still roll the same colors. I'm glad I have a lot of monks here. Okay, so I've got 1 time. I'm going to mark 1 time here, yellow and green, and some 5s. So, okay, this is a good example for me to use my gray bonus action, which allows me to take 2 of a kind, 2 pairings, excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this yellow 5 and write it here. Now the yellow section needs similar numbers, but there are similar numbers because there are 2 5s here. So I'm going to use my gray stone and write another 5 here to complete this section of yellows. So this is a 2 hex section, which is worth 3 points in round 2. However, because it is a yellow section, I will multiply that by 2, so I will actually get 6 points there. That was a nice redemptive move, I think. Okay, here we go. Next, let's see, you've got 1 time, green and blue, 1 and 6. Okay, so I marked 1 time here. So we green and blue, 1 and 6. Blues need 5s or 6s, so I could start over here, which is nice, or I can start down here because I have it adjacent as well. I think I will take the 6. Yes, because 1 or 6 is not adjacent anywhere to this castle, so I cannot claim this castle yet, unless I want to use my worker to change that. But I think I might save it and actually just take the blue 6 over here. Yeah, might be a better call there. Okay, next we've got 1 time, 2 and a 3 and a green and a gray. 2 and 3, so I'm going to mark 1 time again. 2 and 3, green and gray. Gray needs 3s and 4s. Do I have any grays around? I do have some grays. I have grays up here and I have grays down here. Grays up here allow me to get closer to some of this stuff up here. So I think I will do that. I will take a gray. Yes, I'll take a gray 3 up there. Yeah. Okay. Oh, a 2 time. Oh, I wish I had more blue resources, but I don't. So everyone mark 2 time. Make sure you resolve the blue resource action first before you take your next section of pairings. All right, so I've got grays, 5 and 2. Well, those don't help unless I change one of the numbers, because again, the gray needs 4s or 3s. So what I will do is I will use my worker so I can change now, change one of these, and I will just put 4 there. So this section is complete of gray. So I will look, this will give me 3 points, and it's just straight 3 because it is not a yellow resource, so I won't manipulate, it won't multiply. It'll just be a straight 3. And then since it is a gray section, I will get a gray resource. So there's another way you can gain gray resources as well. Okay, this will be the final roll of round 2. And let's see what we get. Okay, we've got a 1 time, couple of 6s, an orange, and a purple. Okay, so marking 1 time. This will complete round 2 after we pick our pairs. Wow, we're cranking through time. Yes, guess or not, we are cranking through time indeed. Okay, so up here in this orange section, they want numbers of different type. So I cannot put a 6 anywhere up here, but I could put a 6 up here, or I could have put a 6 down here because those are new sections. I could do that. I think I will do that. Or do I want to change something to fill in for a monk space? Because I have some of these monk resources available, and those are color change for the dice. So, but you know, I think I'm going to stick with my first idea and do a 6 up here for the orange 6, and that is a 1 hex. So that gives me 1 point there and another orange resource. And then that is all I can do for this round. So we will add up our points. Goodness gracious, that's not as well as I thought it was going to be. But I have got 11 points here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. Moving on into round 3. Hopefully some of these bonuses are. If any of you have completed a color of one section, make sure you give yourself that corresponding bonus. Oh boy. Starting off again with 2 time. Okie doke. 2 time. We've got a 2 and a 6, a yellow and a purple. So purple, I can do a 2. I can start up here or I can start down here. Yellow, I can do here or here or here if I wanted. Yellow would be nice because I can complete, but I'm so close to getting, or do I want to color change? Oh, actually, I want to color change, I think. So I'm going to color change this purple to be a blue, so I can do a blue 6 here. Cross off one of my monk resources, and that completes a 2 hex section, which gives me 2 points here, because we're in round 3. And then it gives me a blue resource, because knowing my luck, I'm rolling so much blue that it seemed pretty likely that it might come up. All right. Next roll. 1 time, gray and purple, 4 and 5. 1 time. Okay, so we've got gray and purple. Gray, I could use the 4 somewhere in here. Or I can again use another monk and color change if I wanted to do another blue section. I think I might save it actually and take a gray 4 and do that here. Okay. Let's roll them up again. 1. We've got a 1 time. Green and gray, 6 and 3. So I have already claimed this castle and this castle. Oh, I could claim one of these other castles. Let's do this one here. So I'm going to claim the green 3 and claim this castle because there is a 3 adjacent to it. And that gives me another blue resource. So I am loading up on blue resources, hopefully to get more people, more victory points here at the end. So that gives me a 1 hex. So that gives me 1 point there and the blue resource. All right, here we go. Oh, use a stone and claim them both. Oh, I could do that. Oh, you are right, Gus or not. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Claim these both, give myself the stone, and look, I've completed all 4 castles. So for the 4 castles, I get the 3 bonus points. So I will mark 3 here. Thank you for that observation. Here we go. We've got blue and yellow, 5 and 6, and a 1 time here. 1 time. For those that are just joining, we are playing Castles of Burgundy, the dice game. Wrapping up here on this final round. We might start another one. I might see about doing another duchy because all the different duchies have different layouts of the hexes and things. So, and it's a pretty quick game. It's, I think, playtime is between 15 and 30 minutes. I usually say that's per player. Oh, yes, 1 more point for completing the 2nd hex of green. Oh, yes, because it is a 1 hex section. You are correct. So I'll put a 1 there too. Okay, so I've got blue and yellow, 5 and 6 to work with. I can start down here. Oh, I can do that. Okay, so I'm going to take a blue 5 here. And then with my gray resource that I got from last time, I will use that to take the blue 6. That is 2 separate combinations. So there is blue, a 2 hex, which is worth 2 points, and another blue resource. So folks, I am so loaded up on blue resources. I need some blue time coming and hopefully get that extra victory points here. Not yet. All right, we've got 1 time, blue and orange, and some 5s. Okay, so some 5s up here. The orange is the only thing I could take because I have completed all of the blue, which by the way, gives me that victory points here. 4, 4 victory points there for completing all the blues. If you did complete it on the same term as I did, make sure you write that as well for yours. And we've got orange and blue. Okay, so I can't take any blue because again, I completed those, so I can take an orange. I can take a 5 in this section because it is different than the 6. So a 1 time, I don't know if I did the 1 time or not. I don't know. I want to say yes, because that's usually the first thing I write. If not, if you could see on the replay, I apologize for that, not marking it. Okay, 1 time. Here we go. And we've got oranges again, 5s and 6s. Okay, so the orange is the sections I can write in. I can put a 5 or a 6 in here. I cannot put a 5 or a 6 in here. However, I do have an orange resource which allows me to change the numbers. So I will do that so I can complete this section. So I will use my orange resource. I will put a 4 in here just for making it numerically nice to look at. This is a 3 hex section, which gives me 4 points. And then since it's an orange resource, I will also gain an orange resource there. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Okay, here we go. 1 time. Oh goodness, I think I have jinxed the dice because it tells me you're not getting blue today. So I will mark 1 time off there. I've got orange, oh, excuse me, yellow and gray, 1 and 4. Well, look at that. I can complete the gray down here with that 4, which I will do so. It's a 2 hex section, which gives me 4 points. I will put the 4 in here, squeeze it in. Then that gives me a gray resource to use. All right, come on, blue time. Come on, blue time. All right, 1. Ooh, there's still a chance. There is still a chance. All right, marking 1 time off there. Gray and green, 4 and 2. Well, I've completed all the gray. No, I have not yet. Oh, yes, I did. I did. Oh, goodness me. Okay, so I did. So that gives me 3 there. This usually doesn't happen when I play this game. Usually so many others are getting those bonuses before I do. Okay, so gray and green, 4 and 2. So I've completed gray and green. So I would need to use one of my monks in order to change the color of those dice. So what do I need to complete over here? I still have some orange to do here. I still have a yellow over here, and some orange and some purple up there. Okay, next we gotta look at what our pips are at. So I've got a 2. But you know, I think I'm just gonna claim it for points. So I'm gonna do a yellow 4 over here, just to complete it as a 1 hex. Do that for 1 point. Use one of my monks because I changed the color to a yellow. And here we go, folks, the final roll. Guster now voted for orange, but I already committed. Oh, it's not gonna happen, folks. I'm not gonna get those bonuses. It's just a 1 time today. 2 and 6, blue and gray. Well, that leaves me high and dry. Dang. Okay. However, oh no, I can't. I cannot change the color of a dice and then use my gray as a bonus action. Dang. That's unfortunate because I could, you know, if I want, if this was a purple, if these were purple, I could do purple 2s, but I can't. Bummer summer. Okay. Yep. So I will just change that to a purple and just fill in something. It won't give me any points, but. Oh yes, the yellow would be 2 points for doubling. You are correct. Guess or not. Thank you much. Okay, so now we're going to total up this section here. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10, 14, 18, 22, 24, 26 for that round. That was much better, I think. All told, 57 for this one. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yep. 57 there. Castles of Burgundy. Castles of Burgundy. All right, we still have some time. Oh, look, and I can do this duchy again over here. I think that's fairly easy to do. Yeah, that seemed to be a good round. If anyone has any questions on what we are playing or how to, if you have any questions on what to do for, I can't make decisions. I don't know what to do on these. I like this game because it is quite complex in terms of like strategy and where to go, because you can definitely start with a duchy and a castle that's in not the best of areas, but you can for sure see yourself making some cool choices as the things kind of get collected together as you're doing adjacency and stuff right now. So it is quite nice to see those combos kind of falling in place. It doesn't always work out, but sometimes it does, and you get those nice little combinations of bonuses and things, and you can really feel like the connected, some of those resources that you can connect together. Let's see. So I think, yeah, we still have some time to do another round of this. We can go ahead and do that there. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep with this duchy because it's nice about these player sheets is that they're double-sided. So even though I laminated mine, it's nice to see that the paper is not going to go to waste. I know some other games have them where you can, there's only like a one-time use. So it's hard to see utilizing, like trying not to play that game as often because you're burning through stuff. And it's, you're like, oh man, I don't want to play this game, but I do want to play this game because I like it, but I have to throw these papers away. So that's we kind of gotten into the habit of laminating, especially our roll and writes, because we play them so often. And I don't know, it's kind of a nerdy thing when you laminate your player sheets or when you sleeve your game cards or things like that. Yeah. It's fun. The little things that come into play when you start streaming and gaming more consistently like I do. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, the things that you have to have, right? That you think about, oh man, I never thought I would get a laminator, to be honest, for gaming stuff. I always thought of laminating as things that you would do, for schoolwork and stuff like that. So it's really funny to see what little gadgets and stuff that you get, and organizers and things like that, where you have organizers for your bits. I know, like going to like craft stores are really exciting because you can get so many things that you would never thought you would need until you see someone else using it, or they bring it to a game night and you're like, what is this? And I know some of those plastic bead holders that you can get at craft stores are good for storing dice or little player pawns or tokens, or I know some people have those inserts that you can use for your gaming stuff instead of baggies. Some people really like baggies. I appreciate the baggie method because sometimes some of the player board or the player inserts on the game boxes don't quite fit a lot of the things on there. So it's nice to have baggies with labels. And so when people go to play your games, you can pull them out and it's all nice and organized. I like to have things nice and organized. I know some folks just toss all the bits in the box and they'll eventually find it later. But that kind of stresses me out. So anyway, organizing your board game bits is quite fun. And especially during this time of quarantine, that there is a lot more time on your hands, at least for me, to do that outside of gaming stuff. So it is nice to get it organized or have your shelf all nice and color coded or alphabetized, or people organize them by type of game or different designers and things. So I just love it. It's fascinating to me how people like to keep their things collected together. So for us, we do by alphabet. We have a nice shelf, and then some of our lower shelves, we've culled all the games that we don't usually play. We've moved those out, and the ones that we go to more frequently, we have them more accessible. Some of our smaller box games we go to and have them in a section too. So if we know we're doing a roll and write, or if we bought a new escape room game, that we could go to that section in our gaming collection and pull that out. So a lot of these smaller box roll and writes are in those sections, and it's really, really cool to know that you can see everything in a place and have it be organized also in the way that you see fit too. I don't think there's ever a wrong or right way to organize your gaming collection and your bits. Just as long as you're happy with it, then everybody should be okay with that. All right, let's play another round of castles. So I'm going to start at a different castle this time. I am going to work my way from the top and go down to the bottom and see what happens. So I'm giving myself a gray resource here. Again, this is still Duchy C because these are double-sided. But we will start round one. Oh, goodness me. I knew it. The dice knew we were starting another game. So it wanted to torment me and say, hey, Jess, you get yourself a 2-time there. So, yeah. Utilize your 2-time resource. If you have the blue resource, awesome. Give yourself the 2 victory points based upon how many blues you got. If anybody took the blue castle, then that would just be straight 2 because this is the first roll. And then give yourself that corresponding gray resource instead. Oh, game, you are quite hilarious. Okay, so I've got gray and purple and some 4s. Well, purple and gray are around. Oh, excuse me, not gray. This is green. Purple is around, but there are no greens around from where this spot is adjacent. And I cannot write a 4 in here because purples need 1 or 2s. And I only took the gray resource. So this is the first time, folks, that I take a constellation worker as my first move. Oh, yes, that blue time is there to haunt me. All right, 1 time, 3 and a 4 and a purple and a yellow. 1 time there. Okay, so we've got 3 and 4, purple and yellow. So I've got the worker here, which I have to use now because this is the only space I can mark things in. I'm not connected to any yellow hexes yet, so I am connected to purple. So I will use this orange resource, give myself a 1 there, take the purple 1, and that is my turn. Wow, there is such an interesting start here. Such an interesting start. Okay, 1 time again, 1 and 6, and a couple of gray. Oh boy. All right. Well, again, that doesn't help. I got to make sure I mark my 1 time there. Gray. I'm touching gray over here, but it needs a 3 and a 4, and I don't have 3 or 4, and I don't have anything to change colors or numbers. So again, I am taking a consolation worker here. Not looking good, folks, on the second time around. That might have not have been a good starting castle for me to use, but we shall see. Okay, 1 time, orange and yellow, 6 and 3. So now I am touching orange down here. I'm not touching yellow yet, so I have to take the orange. I will do an orange 3. Hope for the best. All right. Two time. Oh boy, but I did not take any blue resources. So we will mark 2 time. If you have any blue resources, make sure you resolve the blue resource again. If you have any questions about that, just pop it in the chat. Otherwise, we're marking 2 time there. And now we've got gray and blue, 4 and 3. Well, here we go. I can finally write in a gray section. I will take that gray 4, and I will use this gray resource to take the gray 3 and mark it in the other hex. And that completes a section of 2, which is 4 points there, and gives me a gray resource. There we go. We are going through super fast here on round 1. We got 1 time. I'm going to move the time over here. Blue and purple, 1 and 2. So mark off 1 time. Blue and purple, 1 and 2. Well, look, I can complete that section. Blues need 5s or 6s, so I can't do anything there unless I want to use my worker to change, but I don't. So I will just take the purple over here. That's a 2 hex section. That's another 4 points and gives me a purple resource there. Oh, 2 time again. Geez. Wow. So this is going to be the end of round 1. We are blazing through this, folks. Blazing a path. We've got 3 and 6, blue and gray. I can do the 6 here for blue because I don't have any other gray that I'm currently touching. So that will be there. So I will do the 6 there for blue. And I don't have anything else that I can combo because I can't manipulate any of those dice. I can take a second pair of actions, but I don't have anything that can allow me to do so. So that'll be the end there. And I get a big whopping 9 points for that first round. Wow, I really think those blue double time was holding out. I really, really think it was holding out. Okay, here we go. Round 2. Oh, 2 time again. Of all the things, we're marking 2 time. Make sure you got your blue resources there. We've got 5 and 6, green and purple. Well, fiddlesticks. Okay, so we've got, I could change one of these to be, change one of the colors to be blue so I can finish this section here because I use my monk. Or I could claim this castle if I use my worker to change one of these to a 3 or a 4. That's a choice. But you know, 3 points is more than 1. So I am going to use my monk. Make sure, change this to a purple, or excuse me, to a blue, and mark that as a 6. So that is 2 hexes there, so which is 3 points. Give myself 3 points there, and since it's a blue resource, giving myself a blue resource because gosh golly, Blue is coming up all the time. Here we go. Next roll. And look at that. It has finally come to pass. 2-time, folks. Now, I do have a blue resource, so I will cross that off, give myself 2 victory points, and exchange, give myself a silver resource. Okay, 4 and 3, purple and green. All right, well, I am next to purple, but it needs to be a 1 or a 2. I do have green, 4 or 3, so I will claim this one here. Unfortunately, you resolve this action first before you claim a pair, so I could not exchange that for 2 more points, unfortunately. So, but that is okay. I have something for later. I've got that castle done, and that is a one point because it is a 1 hex. And we shall see here. Oh, 2-time again. That was 2-time. Here we go. Marking 2-time. I just gained this, so I will give myself another 2 points there and another gray resource. So we've got green and blue, 5 and 1. I am close to this green here, but that is a 6, so this would need to be a 6 or something else. I'm not close to any other blue yet, so I can't do a 5 or 6, or I can't do a blue 5 anywhere here. I do have the numbers I can change on one of these. Bummer, summer. Okay, so yes, I think I will do that. I will change. So this 5 will be a 6, so I can claim this castle because it's a green, using my worker there. And that is a 1 hex, which will give me 1. And since it is the worker castle, gives that one there. Oh, so I did have this blue resource, but I marked it up here accidentally instead of down here. It is, like I said before, when explaining the rules, that's what happens. You just forget. Okay, so we've got 1, 2-time, 2-time. I don't know if I marked 2-time. Let's just say I did. So we've got 4 remaining there. Oh boy. I gotta remember to write to get the time down first before marking my pairs. Okay. This is only a 1-time here. So we'll do a 1-time there. And we've got yellow and gray, 4 and 1. So I could start a yellow section up here. Yes, I could start a gray section down here if I wanted. I might actually do that because now it's adjacent to this. So I will take the 4. Oh no. Yes, 4 here. Yes. And then I will, do I want to use a gray? Do I want to use a gray? No, I will save it. Okay. So that's 4 gray there. 1-time, orange and gray, 3 and 4. 1-time, orange and gray, 3 and 4. Okay, this is a better option. So I can do the 4 here or the 3 here because that's gray. And then I could take a second action and do one of these up here. So I will do that. Do a gray 3, which completes this section, which is 2, which gives me 3 points, and a gray. But then I will use one of my previous gray and take an orange and put it up here. So that's what to utilize your orange to, or your gray resource to take to combos. I could have taken an orange 3 if I wanted. I could have written a gray 4 down there if I wanted. Those are all valid, but There we go. One time here, gray, green, and orange, 4 and 6. So green and orange, 4 and 6. So I'm not close to this green over here yet, so I can't mark anything down. However, I could take the orange, write a 6 here, use my gray, and take the green 6 and claim it here, which I will do. So this is one pairing, and then this is one pairing. So it is considered separate, even though you're using the same pip dice. It is considered a totally separate combination. So I used my gray there and claim this hex castle. And I have all 4 castles now, so I will get 3 bonus points there. And here we go, the last roll of round 2. There we go. We've got one time orange and purple, 2 and 5. So I can mark a 2. I can do the orange, 2 or 5. So I will do that. Put a 5 here because it must all be different. This is a 3 hex section, which gives me 6 points. I will squeeze it down here in the bottom. That's a 6 down there. And because it is orange, I will give myself an orange resource. And now we add them up. 3, 5, 6, 8, 14, 17, 18, 21, 22. A little bit better than the first round, I think. Go ahead and give myself a hydrate there. And we will move on into round 3. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing here? Enjoying the Castles of Burgundy, the dice game? I have yet to play the actual Castles of Burgundy, the board game. And I know there is also a card game as well. But this is the only one I played, and this is the only one that I feel I probably would enjoy. I don't know. That's hard to say, because sometimes I should not say anything unless I try it, right? You shouldn't say anything. Don't knock it until you buy it. Try it. As the saying goes, don't knock it until you try it. So if anyone has played castles of any other kind, the castles card game or the board game, I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on those. So, okie doke, here we go. Round 3, starting off with a 1 time. 6 and 3, blue and gray. Okay. Oh, and I have completed the gray section. So I'll have my 3 points. I'll just put it over here. One time. All right. Blue 6 is nice. Or a gray 3. No, it is gray 3 won't work because I just completed it. I just said that. Okay, I will do this blue 6 down there. Oh, 2 time. Dang, I already used all of my blue resources. So again, make sure you resolve the blue resource first. Give yourself 2 points per each blue, and then the corresponding number of gray resources in exchange. All right, so I marked my 2 time there. I've got green and purple, 1 and 3. So I could do this 1 hex over here. I've completed all the green, so the green won't help me there. So I will take the 1 for this. It's the 1 hex section, 1 point, and gives me a monk resource. All right, 1. We've got 1 time, blue and gray, 4 and 1. Oh goodness. So I can't do gray unless I use a monk to change. I will need to change that into a purple, or I can use one of my orange to change the pip into something else. Yes, I will do that instead. So I'll take the blue, but I will change using one of my workers to make this a 5 there and complete this blue section, which is 2 points. Gives me a blue resource. And yeah. Do I have any other combos I can do? No, I cannot, because I already used a resource. And if I didn't mention that before, you can only use 1 manipulator on that. Yeah, blue double D double die. Okay, good timing there, dice. Thank you very much. There's a blue 2 time. So we're marking 2 time here. I've got 1 blue resource, so that gives me 2 points. Cross off that blue, give myself a corresponding gray. I've got so many gray resources, friends. Oh, wow. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I will take the gray 5, no, yellow 5, because I've completed all the greens, so the green won't help. I'll do a yellow 5 here to complete that. 1 hex section, multiply that by 2, gives me 2 points there. Then I will use a gray and do another one. Let's say down here. Let's make this one a 5 as well, or 6. Let's make that a 6, just for funsies. Okay, getting down to it. Getting down to it. 1. Oh, yeah. The blue time came out because we were singing the song. Maybe that's what I need to do in the future. 1 time there, green and purple and some 5s. Wow. So I do have a choice again, friends. I can change with my monk, put an orange one up here. I can also change with my monk and do blue 5 over here. Yeah, I will change with my monk, do an orange 5 so I can complete this hex there. Yep. Getting down to the end. A 1. We've got 2 and 1. Gray, green and yellow. Okay. Yellow, I need all of the same. So this is a 6 down here, so I need this one to be a 6. I can use that. I can use my worker and change the dice. That'll give me 2 there, which is nice. Or I can use the yellow and put a 1 or 2 over here. Since I can't do anything with greens, I'm rolling greens when I don't need greens. So yes, I will do the former and change the pip of one of these to make it a 6. So it'll be a yellow 6, so that's a 2 hex section, which is 2 points. But since it's a yellow, I will multiply that by 2, give myself 4 points. And we are getting close to it. If the blue comes out, that's not good for me. I don't have any blue resources right now. So, and it is not. It is a 1 time, purple and gray, 4 and 5. So I'll mark 1 time here. Purple and gray, 4 and 5. Gray is already completed. Oh, bummer. Okay. Purple I can't use because I don't have any modifiers for that. I can't change any of these for 1s or 2s because I don't have a worker. So guess what? I get to claim a worker as a consolation prize. Well, that's sad. Oh well. Oh well. Final roll of the game, folks. Final roll of the game. Man, we flew through this game, the second game. Holy smokes. All right, we got a 1. We've got 6 and 4, yellow and gray. This is it. This is for everything. Oh, if only these two were the same. I'm leaving so much stone. So many stones uncovered. So many stones. Yeah. What would be nice is if I could change this pip to be another 4, and then I could claim yellow 4 on here with my gray. But you cannot use two manipulator resources on one turn. So that's useless to me because I've already completed all the gray. So again, I will just fill in, just for fun, a 4 there. Okay, let's add up our totals. 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14. 14. Doesn't seem like I did as well this time around. The first round was totally bad. So we got 39, 45 friends for this time around. Yeah. Oh. Do you have a monk for an orange? Oh, I did. I did have a monk for the orange, but I already added them up. That's okay. So I could, okay, let's play this out. So if I did change this for the orange, if I did use my monk, I could put a 4 here, which would give me 4 points, 4 more points there. Because an orange section would give me an orange, that would be 18, which in total I would get 49. Still not as great as last time. Thank you, Gus or Not, for catching that. Not as great as last time, but that's okay. That first round was totally crazy. Totally crazy. Anyway, and that is Castles of Burgundy. I will pop up back to the top here so you can see my face. And all those blue times makes it tough for the higher scores. Yes, that is definitely true. So many blue right off the bat too. I think it just got me hosed from the beginning. Yeah. So this is a fun roll and write. Again, if anybody has played the card game or the dice or the board game, I'm curious to hear how that plays. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed your time here. Looking forward to the weekend. Got some things to do and more prepping for Spiel. If anybody's interested in knowing what we're doing for Spiel, stay tuned on our socials for all of those updates and things. I will be working with Haba Games and helping out monitor the chat and all the streaming stuff. We've got so many great content creators doing some streaming for us, new releases and things too, because Essen Spiel is the big one. It is the mothership, if you will, for all of those out there. Let's see. So next week, I will be on here playing another fun game. Maybe we can get some of y'all in the chat to play with me. I did that a couple weeks ago with Draftosaurus, and that was a lot of fun to get all of those little dino meeples on the table. That was really cute. I love that game. I found out about that game at a convention, and I have never looked back. I will teach that game to anyone and everyone that I can. Yeah, so enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your morning, whatever time it is for you. If you are interested in supporting us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/chickscangame. I will post that here in the chat. If anybody wants to become a patron, we are currently running a promo for all of the new patrons that join us on Patreon. They will receive an exclusive CCG customized face mask. We have several of them available to you, so please, if you are so inclined to want to support us, we would appreciate your help with that. All of the funding goes towards things like our Twitch streams, things that we are able to do, like creating this banner, purchasing games that are available, make them accessible for you to enjoy, and in this time of crazy, be able to have a welcoming space to have fun. So yeah, I will post this onto the chat and get some cool stuff. Cool. Oh, this is the raw. Haha, I was so used to putting my Twitch handle on here. There we go. Patreon.com/chickscangame. Awesome. Yeah, and let me know in socials too. We're also on the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the Twitters, and you can follow us there. We post fairly regularly. Gamer Kitty Soma, as you saw her grace us with her presence today, she often likes to play games with us while we're streaming. She's quite the character. Everybody loves Soma. Maybe I'll do a stream with putting her in different boxes and see what she likes about those things too. She's quite the character. She also knows when the camera is on, because she'll come downstairs or come into the room where we're streaming, and she'll instantly jump up in front of everyone. So it's quite hilarious to see her pop in, and thankfully she has not knocked over stuff. She just likes to step on things, as all cats do, right? They like to step on things. So there's all of our handles and things in the chat. But once again, thanks for joining me today on this other happy hour hangout. And I will catch you all next week. Take care.